Hello, my friends. It's the Crypto Lunatic with some positive news for crypto fans. Positive news, my friends. Now, of course, everything's risky in crypto. This isn't financial advice. It is just a little bit of guidance to point you in the right direction when you're looking for facts and figures to help you with your crypto journey. So, the first and foremost thing is that there's been a massive injection into global liquidity to the tune of 5 trillion, which will be hitting the supply. Because when liquidity is released into the system, there's usually a 3 month hiatus before it actually takes effect, which means that following liquidity in global markets can reasonably well predict the trends. Now, liquidity is good. Lots of liquidity is good for the markets. And when liquidity starts to go out, that's bad for the markets. So join me on a journey. Join me on a journey. I will take you on a few resources today, just a very quick overview, just to show you a few things that you should be aware of. So here, let's start here. This is CoinGlass. This is a great place to have a look. Now, here we have the Bitcoin Exchange Traded Funds or ETF overview. Now, why is this relevant? These are the biggest players in crypto that are building these exchange traded funds. So if they're buying into them, that's generally good. And if they're selling, that's generally bad. And when we look down here at the price change and the Bitcoin holding, then they're generally positive flows. We see a lot of green here, a lot of green, which means that the biggest players, the biggest funds in crypto are all accumulating at the moment. Now, of course, there's a few exceptions. Look, over the 7 days, they're down 1.05%. But interestingly enough, over the 1 day, they're going in. Now, there's only these two in the whole list that are actually selling today, but most of them are green, as you see. Well, obviously that one, most of them are green, which means that the biggest players is mainly green, which means that they're anticipating some good news for Bitcoin. So let's look here. Let's look at hyper liquid whale moves. Now, I find this interesting because these are people with lots of money. Lots of money. Are they opening longs or shorts? Now, you will see, look, the latest activity, they're opening longs. Some are opening shorts. So it's fairly interesting. It's a sort of mixed bag on this front. But the point being, we'll almost definitely get a retrace before, if the market, which it looks like it will, go parabolic at some stage, there'll be a mad burst of energy from crypto. The market makers usually do their best to flush out as many retail traders with a big pullback first. So expect a pullback, expect a pullback. So here you can see lots of people, lots of the traders going shorts, few longs. What I find interesting about this, the longs are going in on meme coins. Look, all of the longs are for meme coins, which tells me that when retail get in, that meme coins will probably, like they did at the beginning of this cycle, is outperform a lot of the assets. So just be aware of this, folks. This is what the people with the big money are doing. Now, here's something interesting. We go to Google Trends. Now, I said that Bitcoin is the leader in the space because when Bitcoin moves everything else, and I just want to demonstrate this here. So put the Bitcoin search term and crypto as a search term. And look, Bitcoin is the main one. Lots of people. So people that are searching for Bitcoin, we can pretty much predict that that's going to be the leader. And where is it by region? Well, El Salvador is the first country to go full Bitcoin. Bitcoin is their native currency. They caused a few ripples, being the world leader in using Bitcoin as their currency. And that's starting to look like a really smart move for them right now. A really smart move. And of course, this would have threatened a lot of the global markets and, of course, the dollar's status as the global reserve currency. But you can see these are the countries that are starting to really search Bitcoin. Let's have a little look. You can see here, a lot of Europe's getting interested in it as we go down the list in South America. So Related queries, all financial stuff there by region. You see a lot in the States there. And here, look, the long-term game of crypto. These are the queries that are going up. Casper crypto, interesting. And Pengu, look at this, folks. Pudgy penguins is what people want to know about at the moment. So let's have a little look at coin market cap. And here we see a lot of positivity over the last 7 days, generally. It's threatening a breakout, which almost definitely means we're going to have a retrace soon. Now, how big the retrace is, I don't know, but I think we can expect a $90,000 Bitcoin or at some stage round about that level. Maybe it will retrace further. I'm not sure, but we'll almost definitely get a retrace before the market goes up. So prepare yourself psychologically for that. I could be wrong. Absolutely could be wrong. But let's look at volume. I like to do this. So these are the top 100, 500 coins. And if we click volume, let's see where the big money's going in. So obviously Tether, that's where people buy Tether because that's how they buy other altcoins and buy cryptocurrency. So a lot predictable as we go down there. Usually it's the biggest players, but we'll see quite high up is Sui. Now, Sui has a relatively, I mean, considering it's a top tier crypto, but this is an up and coming crypto. And it shows that there's a lot of volume, a lot of people backing this. Now, here we are. Interesting. Trump's in, and it's the official Trump meme coin that's got a ton of volume. Now, that's unprecedented, or unprecedented, as it should be said in this case, that the volume into the Trump coin is almost half of the entire market cap, which is insane. It's insane volume. You can be sure that a lot of people are going to be playing with the Trump meme coin, that's going to be a big contender. It's going to be a big player in this bull cycle. I'm not recommending it one way or another, but it will almost definitely go up in value over time because of the Trump theme and Trump being pro crypto, and the markets haven't moved in alignment as what we would have expected. And here we are, look, the pudgy penguins, despite only having, I say only having an 860 million market cap, we're getting a lot of volume. So the pudgy penguins theme tells me that there's likely to do well. And see, here's all the other memes. It's ahead of Pepe and Bonk. But you'll see all of these. Look, over the last 7 days, look at the meme coins. Look how the meme coins have done. Bonk up 60%. Pepe, that's not so good for these. But look, Pudgy Penguins up 150%. So people are going meme crazy, folks. They're going meme crazy. And we see only Bitcoin, only 8%. Ethereum, only 9%. XRP, 9%. Solana, 7%. But then we go down to here, Sui, up 63%. So big moves on Sui. Now let's get curious. And let's go down a little further and see if we can find any tiny little altcoins. So obviously, as we go down, look, fart coin. Fart coins getting a lot of attention. You've got to love it. Absolutely got to love it. Now, this one, Aave, this is an interesting one, considering it's got a 2.6 billion market cap. This is a lending protocol with a lot of liquidity in it. If you're assessing things from an investment perspective, Aave is a very solid project because they're a lending protocol with a lot of liquidity on there that you can put your Ethereum on and borrow against it. So, and then we see Shiba. Shiba's appearing. So here we go down. And look, and yet another meme coin with a relatively small market cap getting almost half of the volume in. This is massive. This really is massive for the space, folks. It really is. It's a big thing. So PopCap, it's showing us that when the retail money comes in, a lot of people are going to be putting it in meme coins, because people are searching for the next Dogecoin, the next Shiba Inu, the next coin they can put in their $100 and become millionaires at the end of it. Now, it's a pipe dream at this stage, but it won't stop people trying. and it looks like Popcat is getting its day in the sun. Here's another relatively low cap that's getting a lot of volume, which I may have to look into, and that's Ardor. I don't know anything about this. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. Who knows? But you can see here, these are the things to look into. Where's the volume going? What are people into at the moment? What are they doing, my friends? So there's a few indicators. It is very, very likely that sometime soon that the crypto market will explode. Again, not financial advice. Don't come shouting at me if it doesn't, folks, but the indicators feel like it's going to happen sometime soon. Of course, could be wrong, but these are where to check. Rather than the speculation, you're going to get every influencer and their dog telling you they're an expert, telling you that the market's going to fly up and how they are an expert, expertly positioned. But do they tell you how they work this out? Or are they just following the bandwagon of loads of people? A lot of people saying the same thing. You're going to get echo chambers in crypto. And to some extent, I guess I'm part of an echo chamber, but hopefully it's an echo chamber that's giving you the tools to actually go out and do your own research, my friends, because that's where it's all at. Whatever anyone says, treat with caution, do your own research. You'll hear this a lot. Do your own research. And this is what it means. Look into it, do your own research. Find out where is the money going, where's the volume going, what are the whales doing, what are the exchange traded funds doing, and what is global liquidity like at the moment. And all of these appear positive for crypto right now. So there's the good news, my friends. And if you want more of the same, it might not all be good news, but at least I hope that I'll be giving you some sort of objective reasoning and indicators. And this is specifically for people that are relatively new to crypto. All of you hardcore degens may not find this as interesting, but for people new that don't like the jargon and you're still watching, then I would suggest that you subscribe to the channel so you get more of my unfiltered assessments of the market, and you can find another one just there.